Schedule, John.
Can you add your title sheet to this TPS report, please?
Yes.
Who had the office reference at 10 after? So Earl, would you agree that complexity maybe plays a role in whether that role is necessary or not? I think of things like construction, and I say, if you're building a small little footstool in your shop, right? You don't need someone telling you what you're doing there. But if you're building a home or a commercial building that has incredible complexity and multi-layers and whatnot, certainly the need for project management at that level is glaringly obvious.
Right. Well, I was thinking about that this morning a little bit, and one of the things that came to mind is that Fred Brooks, I think his last book, but what is certainly a late book of his, was called The Design of Design. And about half the book's good. About the other half of the book is boring as he talks about how he built his custom house because he just loved his house so much. But the first half had some interesting arguments. And one of his arguments, and I think it's true, is that at any level of design, at any level of abstraction you're talking about, you need to have a single human being who's sort of encompassing that layer of abstraction, who is the point person. And at different levels, they could be different people, but at a certain level, someone has to have that thing in their head. And your example, if I'm working on a stool by myself, I'm that person. I have this idea, this vision where we're going, how it's structured, how I'm going to make it harmoniously go together. I'm holding that in my head, and I'm being its continuity and consistency. I think now Fred Brooks was obviously talking about design, like architecture designs, detail designs, coding designs, but I think that's the sense of the design of the work effort. If I start thinking about the work effort, I can see these different layers of work effort. I have the individual work effort, I have the small team, I have a group of teams, I have an organization. At every level, there has to be, I think, a person who says, here's how I'm going to hold this together. This is how I'm going to structure it. These are the communication patterns I want to see between the pieces, so that at that level, it makes sense and I have consistency and continuity rather than just ad hoc craziness. So I think, there's complexity level in there. But there's these different extraction levels. And if I'm just working on a stool by myself, I don't have that many levels, not a big deal. If I'm building an F-14 fighter, I got multiple levels, and I'll probably have different people at different levels abstracting this. And you see that in SAFe, right? The Scaled Agile framework. They really want to get that down. They're going to say, okay, we're going to have these different peoples at different levels sort of running different areas. And because they have different things they're focused on, we'll form these little triads of accountability where you say, okay, I'm watching over the business side, you're watching over the technical side, and you're watching over the process side. And together, we'll make sure all our bases are covered. And so they have those levels of abstraction. So I think complexity is core here.
Mm-hmm.
I also think we want to make sure we separate the concept of, is there project management happening